Are we live? Are we live? I think I'm getting the hang of this live thing now. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see. Let me move some things around on my screen so I can see. There we go. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. I'll wait a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes. I'll wait a minute to see if people will join me live while I pour myself a glass of grown folk juice. Give me a minute. 1 second. One second. If you're live with me tonight, if you're in the room, hey girl, hey. Let me know you're here with me live. Where you from? How you doing? How you been? How you doing? How you been? And if you're watching the replay, comment replay and say hey too. I'm sorry you couldn't join us tonight, but I thank you for watching. I still thank you for watching. Let's see who's with me. Happy Toddlers Playgroup. Hey. And then I also see Chef B. Hello, Happy Toddlers Playgroup and Chef B. Hello, Anita. Hello. You're from Manhattan, Happy Toddlers Play Group. And Anita, absolutely. Of course. Shalonda. Hey, girl. Hey. How you doing? How you been? I see some familiar names. It's so good to see you guys. But for those who are new to me and my channel, welcome, welcome. I'm Malika. I am a financial coach and founder of my coaching company, Fabulous Financials. I achieved financial freedom in 2017, 2018 timeframe by investing in the stock market. And my investments have allowed me to quit my job and never have to work again if I choose not to. Never have to work again if I choose not to. I say that again because I want to emphasize that because of the topic that I want to discuss with you guys tonight. You see the title, you saw the thumbnail. I'm concerned, ladies. I'm concerned, but we're going to get into it tonight. But anyway, I enjoyed my career. I had an amazing career, a great salary, even better benefits. But in my opinion, there's more to life than work. So I decided to retire early, and now I slow travel the world and live what I love. My hard work is helping other Black women invest with ease so that you can achieve financial freedom and live whatever you love. So if you're new to me and you're not subscribed to my channel, if what I just shared sounds like your vibe, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell and join my tribe of financial besties. Welcome, and I thank you for watching. Let's see, did I say hello to everyone? Hello, Denise. Hello, how are you? Hello, Southern Rose Tia D. Hey, girl, hey. We have Kia, finest growth in the house. Hey, hey, y'all. Thank you for hanging with me tonight. And Lawanda. Lawanda's in the house. Hey, Lawanda. How you doing? How you been? So, the financial topic I want us to talk about tonight. I have been reading several articles reporting that Black women don't invest. Now, I don't know how true this is. So I was like, you know what? Let me take this topic to my tribe and let's talk about it. Because these articles, there's so many out there. And there's one in particular that I think is from a reputable source that I'm going to talk about tonight. But these articles never really get into the nuances that explain why we are not investing. Now, like I told you before, I've been an investor for a long time. My investments is what has given me the freedom that I have today. I want all Black women to have the freedom that I have. So I would like to understand why you are not investing if you are not an investor. Then maybe I can help you break down the barriers, dispel some myths, overcome some fears, whatever those reasons why are. So that's why I wanted to bring this conversation to you tonight, because I want all Black women to be investing so you can achieve financial freedom, because working ain't it. Not working until you're 65 like the government will want us to. We're not doing that. So, ladies, I want to know why we're not investing. But before we get into that financial topic, let's have a toast. Y'all saw my post in the community. We have over 1,000 financial besties in the community now. Yay! Thank you guys so much for being with me. And because of you, my channel is now monetized. We monetized. I'm so excited. Getting monetized happened way faster than I expected, and it wouldn't be possible without you. It would not be possible without you. My tribe, you found me. The algorithm did what the algorithm does. I guess the collaborations that I've been doing, the interviews that you've seen me on other people's channel, all of my colleagues, all of my sister friends that I've been making in this space. I appreciate all of you too, because you guys are here with me. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, can you do me a favor? Tell me what you enjoy about my channel so I can create more of it. I can create more of it. But I thank you. And I want to toast, cheers to 1,000. Actually, it's over 1,000 now. Over 1,000 and growing Black women pursuing financial freedom. Cheers to you. Ooh. Let me take one more sip. Mm. I'm a lightweight, y'all, so I can't be drinking too much. But that's good. That's good. Kia says, I enjoy you just sharing your journey, and I like how you simplify the information that you give us. Thank you, Kia. I will continue doing that. I will continue doing that. Thank you for celebrating with me, Chef B. Yes. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Oh, Shalonda, yes, girl, get your drink. Let me know when you get your drink and you come back. I'm going to take another sip with you. Get your drink, girl. And happy Tyler said, congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tia D said, congratulations. Thank you. And I thank you all for being here and making that possible. I really appreciate you. Kia said, I don't feel overwhelmed by the way you deliver your message. That helps a lot. All right. That's so important to hear. Thank you so much. I will continue doing everything that you guys are pointing out. I want to continue providing value that is helpful to you. Denise said she appreciates that I'm honest, down to earth, sincere about helping us Black women achieve financial freedom and independence. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's my passion. That's what I feel called to do. That's what I feel led to do. I don't have to work. I don't do this for the money. I do this because I really, really enjoy it. And I want to see more of my sisters win. I want to see more of us lounging, relaxing, luxuriating, gallivanting all around the world, slow traveling. I need somebody to hang out with. I want more of us to have this privilege. So, yes, this is why I do it. I honestly feel called to do so. One day I will do a story time on my channel and tell you about the internal and spiritual struggle that I had for years. All of my closest friends, if you're watching, I'm sure they will comment and tell you about all the times they heard me say, I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. I can answer your questions, but I'm not going to be anybody's coach. Uh, Create content on social media? No, I ain't doing that either. I was so resistant for years. I promise, for years. But once I decided to retire early and leave my career, I told God, I'm all in. Use me. Use me. Order my steps. Show me what you want me to do. Sometimes I don't understand what he's asking me to do, but I just take one step at a time. And what is culminating from that is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm very, very grateful. I'm very grateful. And I hope I can continue to provide that for you. Hey, Elle. Hey, girl. Hey. Lawanda says she appreciates that my transparency has been helpful, and the topics I'm covering are important but relatable in so many ways. Thank you for sharing that, Lawanda. Thank you. I will continue to be transparent. I have a whole lot of skeletons. They're not in the closet because I put them out there. And I feel like if I create my own narrative, I tell my own story, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's why I'm so big of helping Black women overcome financial shame. If I tell my story, what can you say about me? I'm not ashamed of it. I tell everybody, yeah, I've been on welfare for almost 10 years. And I'm not anymore. So what you gonna do with that information? Nothing. There is freedom in being transparent. There is freedom in telling my own truth. I get to control the narrative. So that's why I do what I do, and I will continue to be transparent. So thank you all. Thank you all for sharing that. So let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to share some news reports that talk about why we don't invest. But first, I want to hear from you because Black women, we are one of the most educated groups in the United States. We are also the most enterprising in terms of starting new businesses. I'm sure you know that. So we have the education, we have the means and the ability to earn money. But why aren't we investing? Do you have any thoughts about that? We're educated, we have the means to earn money, but we are not investing. Why is that? Any thoughts about that before I get into the stats and the articles? While I'm waiting to see if you guys have any thoughts, I'll share some. Southern Rose said, I have some thoughts. Share them with us. But while I'm waiting for you guys to share your thoughts, I'll share some stats about Black women and money. Two stats stood out to me as it relates to this topic we're going to talk about tonight. The Black community, Miss LGC, we're talking about investing in the stock market. But two stats stood out to me. The Black community has spending power of over $1 trillion per year. But most of it flows through and out of our community. That means we're spending it, and very little of it is being invested in wealth building activities. We have the spending power of $1 trillion, but most of it is flowing through and out of our community. That stood out to me. The other stat that stood out to me that was the most shocking, it said nearly 60% of Black women are not investing in anything. Nearly 60% of Black women are not invested in anything. That includes our employer sponsored plans, our 401k, that includes the Roth IRA, and then, of course, your individual brokerage accounts that you can control on your own. Nearly 60% of us are not invested in anything. That stopped me in my tracks because I didn't think the percentage was that high. Nearly 60%? That has a significant impact on Black wealth, not only for us, but for our children, our children's children, and future generations. Huge. 60% of us, or nearly 60% of us, are not investing in anything. Let's talk about why. Let me see some of your reasons. Some of the reasons that you shared. Shalonda says sometimes we don't know where to start. Yeah, that's a good one. Sometimes we don't know where to start. And if this is you, that is one of the reasons why I did one of the first videos on my channel was how to invest your first $1,000, where to start. I created that video specifically for beginners. After this live stream is over, I will link it in the description box. But how to invest your first $1,000. If you don't know where to start, that is a place where you can start. I also have a new investor starter kit that I created. It has some tips on mistakes that you can avoid when you're new to investing in the stock market. It has some other resources in it. I can also link to that in the description box. It's a free resource, but it's a new investor starter kit. I'll link to both of those in the description box. So thank you, Shalonda, for sharing that. And if I mispronounce any of your names, please feel free to correct me. Please, please, because I correct people all the time when they say my name wrong. I think a Black woman's name is the most beautiful sound to our ears. So our name should be pronounced correctly. Elle says, we are overwhelmed. Can you tell me more what you mean by that? We are overwhelmed. Do you mean like with responsibilities, like our homes, our children, spouse, if we have them, extended family, jobs? What do you mean? What's stopping us from investing? What are we overwhelmed by that's stopping us from investing? Southern Rose says, I think most of our hesitance comes from cultural distrust. Woo, yes. Lots of our people got taken, and we prefer having our money where we can see it. I need a minute. That's what I was looking for. When I read those articles, I'm like, they're talking about all these surface level reasons why we don't invest. But there are things that are unique to us and unique to our lived experiences that is really driving the why. And the articles don't talk about that. And this comment is hinting on exactly what I was thinking. But I was like, sometimes I could be an overthinker. And I said, I'm just going to take this topic to my community and just see what other people think. And that's one of the biggies. Because the first thing that came to my mind when I think about the nuances, I think about Tulsa, Oklahoma, the community of Greenwood that was full of wealthy Black people that were investors, doctors, lawyers. We built a community that was thriving, and then it was taken away from us. It was taken away. It makes me think about what's that community? Seneca Village that was in New York City, where the park, Central Park, currently sits. Lots of Black people own homes in New York and Seneca Village. It was taken away from us. It was taken away. I also think about what's the other example? I can't remember the specifics on this one, but it was related to a bank. It was a bank that was created that was owned by a white man, I believe, but it was in a Black community, and a lot of Black families opened checking accounts and savings accounts in that bank. And due to fraudulent activity, our money was taken away from us. And all the account holders that were not Black, their money was reimbursed when everything was resolved. But the Black families never got our money back. Do y'all remember the details of that one? I can't remember the name of that one. It's like I know Tulsa, the Tulsa massacre in Seneca Village, like right off the top of my head. But that one, I should know that one too, because that one involves a bank. Let me see in the comments. Does anybody mention that one? Yeah, I can't think of that one specifically. But yes, Tia, I think you are spot on. It's the distrust, because we've had wealth before. Black people know how to build wealth. But so many times in our history, it's been taken from us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Lawanda says, oh, this is another good one. Lawanda says, for me, it's fear. I've worked so hard to get where I am. I'm a huge saver, but I have a fear of losing and starting all over again. That's a valid concern. That's a valid concern. I would challenge you to think about how you can overcome that fear. Instead of letting the fear paralyze you, or instead of letting the fear have you stuck in one place, because there's so much more room you have to grow. There's so much more you can do. You've worked hard to get where you are now. There's so much more you can do. But if you're allowing fear to paralyze you, you're limiting yourself. So I challenge you to think about how you can overcome that fear. And I think one of the ways is by educating yourself. Have you considered educating yourself so that you can address whatever the topics are that you're afraid of? You're afraid of losing it all and starting all over again. There are ways you can overcome that by learning about the stock market, learning how the stock market works. And I promise, once you understand how the stock market works, you'll have less fear. You'll have less fear. And when I drop the, let me see if I can share the new investor starter kit now. This starter kit has information in it about losing money and how you can manage your risks to, hold on one second. Let me be a little fancy tonight. See if I can use some of these other features. I think I can share it. Here we go. Can I share that? Y'all see that link? Did it show up? Yeah. Okay. So that's the link to the new investor starter kit. So the starter kit addresses that concern about fear. I'm going to make it a ticker too. Oh, shucks, look at me. Look at me. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Look, let me stop before I mess up something. That's all I'm going to do tonight. That's all I got. Let me get back to the comments. Salawada said it's fear. So I think that is a lack of knowledge on finances. So we know how to save, but not how to invest. Yes, Diane Cotterell. I hope I said your name correctly. I think it's a lack of knowledge. We know how to save, but we don't know how to invest. If grandma didn't teach us nothing else, she taught us how to save, didn't she? Grandma taught us how to save. And I commend all the grandmas, all the big mamas, because they taught us as much as they knew. Our grandparents wasn't allowed to invest in the stock market. At one point, we were the commodity that was traded on the stock market. So they couldn't teach us those things because they didn't know. But we have come so far from where our grandparents and great grandparents came from, so we can't stay stuck where their knowledge stopped. Now we do have the freedom to invest in the stock market. So if you are a saver and you know how to save and you're saving consistently, I commend you for that because that's part of your total financial portfolio as well. But now it's time for us to take it one step further and learn how to invest so that when our children come along and our children's children and we become the grandmas, we have the knowledge to teach our children and grandchildren how to invest. So they will know, although we didn't learn it when we were younger. Now we have a responsibility to take it a step further, right? Let's see. We also use our money to soothe the pain of, Tia D is coming in hot. We also use our money to soothe the pains of living in a structure that wasn't built for our prosperity. Yes, yes, yes. I was watching a video on, was it TikTok or Instagram? And I'm gonna butcher his message. But he said something to the effect of a lot of the ways that we spend money and a lot of the ways that we aspire to achieve certain things is because of something that either we didn't have, something that someone told us we couldn't have, or something that was some type of internal pain that we were trying to resolve because of past trauma. And then he went on to say, when we heal those traumas, when we heal from those experiences, we no longer desire to strive for traditional forms of success. We no longer desire to strive to own material things that represent success. Once we heal, we no longer have a desire for any of those things. We no longer want to have a seat at their table. We no longer want to meet their standards. We choose to live what we love and to live a life of ease and do what we really, really enjoy. So I think you're onto something there too. We use the money to soothe our pain. I would suggest that we use that money to get some therapy so we can deal with the pain, so we can learn the tools on how to manage the pain, so we can learn how to overcome the trauma, or at least manage the trauma that causes the pain. Because we can't keep operating in that cycle and then hurting ourselves because of pain that someone else caused us. Yeah. Diane said, when I bring up the subject with other Black women, they say it's too risky before I could finish my sentence. Yeah. A lot of people think investing is risky. I mean, it can be, but there are also ways to manage the risk as well. And just like anything else in life, you have to take some risk if you want the gain. I mean, if you want to live safe and mediocre is good enough, or where you are is good enough, and you don't want to take any risk ever, and you just want to stand in one spot for the rest of your life, and you're perfectly content with where you are, your finances, then that's all it's going to be. But if you want more, if you want a life that's different than what you have now, you're going to have to take some risk. We take risk every day, actually. If you drive a car, you're taking risk. If you board a plane to take a trip, you're taking risk. So we take risk every day, but we don't, when we're living life to the fullest, we don't avoid the risk. We learn how to manage the risk, right? And when you're investing in the stock market, there are ways to manage the risk. One of the ways to do that, and I'll go ahead and share something of value here. One of the ways to manage the risk in the stock market is by investing in balanced index funds. And balanced index funds is like a pot, like a basket of a lot of different stocks. And an index fund is a fund that tracks the index. So you're not trying to stock pick. You're not trying to decide what's the best company to invest in. You're not trying to trade. A lot of people, when they think of investing, they think of trading. Trading and investing are two different things. I do not recommend a person that's new to the stock market to try to trade. I do not recommend a person that's new to the stock market to try to trade, because trading requires a lot of discipline and it requires advanced knowledge and advanced strategies. When you're building a financial portfolio, there's levels to it. And if you try to skip level 1 through 4 and jump straight to level 5 and you don't have a solid foundation, that's risky. That's when you're going to lose your money. But if you want to manage the risk, start at something simple. Start with something that's manageable, like index funds. Index funds are already diversified. Index funds give you access to the best companies in the United States. So you still have a little bit of Apple, you still have a little bit of Tesla, you still have a little bit of Home Depot, McDonald's, Microsoft, all the great companies. But it's a basket of them all in one. So invest in an index fund. That's one of the ways that you can manage risk. I hope that helps. Let's see. Denise says, I think it's because we just don't know how to do it, and we need folks to be honest because it's hard to make a dollar. Then people act like they don't want to help you. Have you experienced something specific, Denise, where someone wasn't honest with you? I think it's because we just don't know how to do it. That part I understand. If you don't know how, I understand. That's why I'm here. Hey, girl, hey. That's why I'm here to teach you how to do it. You need folks to be honest. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So feel free to circle back and comment again on that. But yeah, so I understand if you're not investing because you don't know how to do it. But at some point, you have to take the initiative and say, I want to learn how to do it. So let me go find out how I can learn. Don't just say, I don't know how, so I'm not going to do it. Figure out how you can learn. There's lots and lots of resources available. TND, talking about those places, Seneca Village and Greenwood. Those places were exactly what came to mind. Anywhere that Black folks were prospering, the sabotage closely followed. Ooh, sure. I'm so glad you made that comment because that's exactly what I was thinking. And I'm glad it wasn't just me. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Oh, Miss LGC had a good comment. The book, The Color of Money, speaks on the history of Black people and banks. I haven't read that book. I need to check it out. I'll see if my library has it. By the way, a good way to read books through your library is the app Libby. Libby. The Libby app, you can access your books through the app and download the audio version or PDF version for free. Unless I absolutely love a book, I don't buy books. I just get them at the library and read them on my device through the Libby app. We are overwhelmed with choices. Elle says, we are overwhelmed with choices. Is that one of the reasons why you don't invest? You're overwhelmed with choices. And what I say to that, ignore the noise. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of companies in the stock market. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of ETFs. Ignore the noise. Pick one and just start investing. If you're overwhelmed with all the options and you choose to do nothing, you're limiting your wealth by doing nothing. You have to block out the noise, pick one and start investing. Now, you want to keep learning. You want to continue learning and you want to continue to develop your portfolio. But until you get there, start now, start where you are and start with what you know right now. And you can build and increase your investments gradually over time. But start now with what you have and what you know. Pick one, ignore everything else. Okay? It can also be hard to commit to investing when you have competing priorities. Ooh, especially as a mom, especially if you're a mom. The last few videos I did were about single moms building wealth. And y'all know I'm a single mom too. So, single mom and money, that's at the center of my heart there. So I always have empathy and understand the struggle of single moms. But yeah, if you have competing priorities, it is hard to commit to investing. But here's the thing, every dollar helps. A lot of people think in order to invest, I need this large amount of money. Actually, let me put a bookmark there. I don't want to get into the reasons that the article pointed out yet. That is one of their reasons. But yes, Shalonda, I completely understand what you're getting at. It's hard to commit when you have competing priorities, but we're going to talk about that. Oh, Kia, thank you. Kia, I appreciate you. This is my very first super chat. Fantastic, Kia. Grateful for this channel. I'm learning so much. I appreciate you, Kia. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. I think I went through all of your ideas about why you think we're not investing. Everything else, I'm going to star them and come back to them later. So we talked about fear. We talked about being overwhelmed. So yeah, so let's get into the article. Let me see. Let me pull it back up. Let me pull up my notes here. I don't want to misquote anyone. Okay. So, of all the articles I read, the one I'm going to use tonight is one from what I consider the most reputable source, and it was written by a representative of the SEC. For those who don't know, the SEC stands for the Securities and Exchange Commission. And this is an independent agency of the United States federal government. It was created after the stock market crash of 1929 that led to the Great Depression. Now, I'm sure you all have heard of that. Either you learned about it in school or you heard your great grandma, your great great grandma, and your great aunties talking about it. But the SEC was created right after that big stock market crash of the 1920s that led to the Great Depression. And the primary purpose of the SEC is to oversee stock market regulation and to enforce laws against market manipulation. So when I see an article written by the SEC, to me, that is very valid. And I'm very, very interested in their opinions and any facts and data that they share. So that's why I chose this particular article to share with you tonight. And Nakia Hackworth Jones is specifically who I'm quoting tonight. She's the director of the SEC's Atlanta regional office. And she said there are 3 main reasons that Black women do not invest. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's get into it. So the first reason that Miss Jones mentioned is the reason Black women don't invest. She said a lack of money. She said a lack of money. Now, this stood out to me because, hold on, this banner at the bottom is starting to annoy me now. It's probably annoying y'all too. So we don't turn that off. It kept attracting my eye. But it stood out to me because the articles have already pointed out that we are the most educated group in the United States, and we are the most enterprising in terms of starting new businesses. So we have the education, we have the knowledge, and we have the ability to create money. So how is a lack of money the reason that we don't invest? So I dug a little deeper, and what this article is getting at is that there is a perception that you need a lot of money to invest. And I said, now that makes sense. Now that makes sense. And this is to your point. Who was it? It's hard to commit to investing when you have competing priorities. So this is to your point, Shalonda, and what I was getting at. This article is saying that Black women don't invest due to a lack of money, but it's not necessarily I don't have any money. It's the perception that you need a lot of money to invest. And if they don't have this big chunk of money or this extra large amount above and beyond their basic needs or their responsibilities, or as Shalonda pointed out, their competing priorities, they just choose not to invest at all. Sis. And Shalonda, if you were making a different point and this is not where you were going, feel free to correct me. I'm not above being corrected. But if this is where you were going, I thought it lined up perfectly with this first reason here that the SEC pointed out. You don't need a lot of money to invest. Did you know you can invest with just 20 bucks? You can invest with just $20. You can open an account. I'm going to tell y'all right now what I would do if I was starting all over from the beginning, from square one, from day one, based on what I know now. This is what I would do. I would open an account with Fidelity. And the reason why I say Fidelity is because they're a reputable brokerage firm. I don't fool with the Robin Hoods. I don't fool with all the cutesy little apps. I don't buy stock using Cash App and all that kind of stuff. Mm-mm. Use a reputable brokerage firm. And I would choose Fidelity, not only because they're reputable, but I would choose Fidelity also because they allow you to buy what's called fractional shares. So let's say you want to buy an index fund based on the comment or the suggestion I made a few minutes ago. You wanted to buy an index fund that costs $150. Let's say you don't have $150 because, as Shalonda pointed out, you have competing priorities. You got to pay your rent or your mortgage. You got to pay your light bill, the kids in summer camp or school about to start back. So now you got to put them in after school care. You got all these things going on. I get it. But after you do all those things, do you have at least $20 left? Do you have at least $20 left? Okay. Thank you for confirming that, Shalonda. If you want to invest and you have at least 20, I'm gonna lower even more. If you have $10 left, open an account with Fidelity gives you access to fractional shares. So if you want to buy and invest, if you want to invest in an index fund and that index fund costs $150, you don't need the whole $150. It would be great if you had it. You can buy a whole share, but Fidelity allows you to invest in fractional shares. So you can take that $10, that $20, and buy a fraction of a share of that index fund. And that fraction, if you continue investing $10 a week, a pay period, $20, or whatever you can, whenever you can, but consistency is more important than an amount, in my opinion. If you get a $1,000 windfall and you put it all in the stock market and you never invest again, I think it's better to consistently invest $20 a pay period and you do it every single pay period because you're building a muscle. You're building a muscle, and that money is going to compound over time. And eventually you'll end up with more than that $1,000. But my point is, even if you only have $10 or $20, you can buy fractional shares. And as long as you're buying fractional shares consistently, and you continue to buy that $10 worth of that index fund or that $20 worth of that index fund, you can still build wealth. You can still create passive income. You can still earn dividends from that asset that you own. You're just earning a fraction of what you would if you owned a whole share. But even with $20, after you have, y'all know I don't do mental math. So if you don't know that, you'll learn that about me eventually. I'm a financial coach, but I don't do math in my head. But if you're buying a stock or an index fund that costs $150 and you're investing $20 a pay period, once you do that about 7 times, you'll have a whole share. So let that be your motivation. Let me invest this little bit at a time until I can get a whole share. And when you get that whole share, girl, celebrate. I got a whole share now. Just like I'm celebrating my 1,000 financial besties in the community. There are YouTubers that have hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers. I'm celebrating my 1,000 because I'm excited. I am happy y'all here. Treat your investments the same way. Invest that $10, invest that $20. And when you get a whole share, celebrate. Be happy you got that whole share. And then you start striving towards that second share. And as those shares accumulate and compound, your dividends are going to increase as well. But you can't get there if you don't start. Right? So I just gave y'all to start a game. That's exactly what I would do if I was just starting out. So the article is saying that the perception is that you need an entire salary. Who in the world thinks they need an entire salary to invest? And they put in parentheses, for example, of $50,000 in extra income to invest, which is not the case. And the research study pointed out the example that if someone invested $30 per month in an S&P 500 index over 10 years, their initial $3,600 investment will have grown to over $8,000. And that's a 122% return by just investing $30. That's it. You don't need a lot of money to start. So let me see who that wasn't investing because they felt like they have competing priorities or they felt like they didn't have enough money. Who will invest now, even if they only have 20 bucks? And now you can't say you don't know how. I tell you exactly what to do. I tell you exactly what I would do. So you can't say you don't know how. And I know you got $20. You can even do $10. I know you got $10. Who's not investing that's going to start now? All right, let's move on to reason number 2. I say reason number 2. Let's move on to reason number 2 that the SEC noted for why Black women don't invest. Reason number 2 is the lack of knowledge. Reason number 2 is the lack of knowledge. And I think you all pointed that out already. You don't know. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to invest. So I just explained to you a very simple way to start. That's it, just starting. Now, you do want to continue learning. You do want to continue increasing your financial literacy. But just for right now, you just need to start. And that's it. So you have enough information to at least get started. Yay, Lawanda. She says, I'm going to start. Yes, girl. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Elle said, full disclosure, I have investments. Okay. What do you invest in, Elle? And what type of account do you have? But the second reason the SEC pointed out that Black women don't invest is lack of knowledge. They go on to say that financial literacy has dropped nearly 10%, but there are tools available from the SEC to help. And one of the tools that they mentioned is investor.gov. I actually like investor.gov too, and I use one of their compound interest calculators. It's one of my favorite calculators. And the compound interest calculator, it can show you if you start with this amount, let's say you just have $200 in your account and you add $20 every month, or if it's every pay period, $40 every month, and it'll show you how much your money can grow over time. I love compound interest calculators, and investor.gov has a compound interest calculator that I love. But that's one of the resources or one of the tools that they cite for financial education. In my opinion, I think the internet has removed barriers to financial education. In fact, YouTube is often jokingly referred to as YouTube University. So the information is there, the information is available, the information is oftentimes free. I created my channel to share free information. I also have a paid coaching program for those that want to go deeper. And I do group coaching and one on one coaching, but I share information on the internet for free. So you have access to information. Other YouTube channels that I would recommend for financial information is my girl, Adelia Aboishade. Picky Girl Travels the World. She shares a lot of great information about personal finance and investing. Another channel, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with all of these channels, but I'll share them anyway. Uh, Halisi, and I think her husband name is Rick from Our Black Utopia. They talk about investing and financial independence often. Another one I would recommend is Our Rich Journey. Christina and I forgot the guy's name, but I know the wife's name is Christina. But all of these are Black women or Black families. So they are resources that you can tap into to learn how to invest. Usually at the beginning of the year, I hesitated because I'm thinking about doing it again in the last quarter of the year to help people get a jump start on their financial goals for 2024. But usually at the beginning of the year, I usually host my 8-week group coaching program called Invest with Ease. And I teach you how to invest without stress. I teach you how to invest without worrying about the risk and losing all of your money and all the concerns that were shared here tonight. You don't have to do a whole lot of research. You don't have to do a whole lot of stock picking to invest in the stock market. So the program is specifically geared towards new investors, even those who are already in the stock market, but you're not really confident and you're not really sure what you're doing. Um, but yeah, in the 8-week program, I teach you the fundamentals of the stock market. I teach you how to structure your portfolio. I teach you the order of operations that you should be investing. And I also teach you how to put together an investment strategy. I teach you how to understand your investor identity and understand your own risk tolerance so you can choose investments and an asset allocation that fits your personal risk tolerance. What else do we do and invest with these? That that pretty much covers it. But the ultimate goal at the end of the 8-week program is to have you fully equipped and prepared with the tools and the strategy to build a six-figure portfolio. To build a six-figure portfolio. Now, you're not going to have six figures by the time you finish the program, but you will have the knowledge and the tools to be able to do so. But I usually kick off that program in January, but I'm thinking about doing it in October because 8 weeks will take us through December. So that'll be perfect timing, like right before the holidays. But you will have all that you need to start investing and start pursuing your new financial goals for the new year. So, is that something that you would be interested in? Because I usually do it at the beginning of the year, but I'm thinking about doing it in the fourth quarter of this year. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But anyway, um, yeah, financial lack of financial education was the second reason that they identified. And I would just say use the resources that are at your fingertips. Use the free resources first. Even though I have a paid program, I'm telling you myself, use the free information first. Now, you're not going to get everything you need from the free information. And sometimes the free information is all over the place. The benefit to me of a paid program, because I have a coach too. Like I said, there's levels to this wealth game. So I'm a financial coach and I have a financial coach. I'm a 7-figure investor. I'm trying to get to 8 figures. Okay. But I think the benefit to paid programs is it gives you an organized step-by-step strategy on how to go from point A to point wherever it is that you want to go. And it lays it out in a sequential format so you understand exactly where to start, exactly what to do next, exactly what to do here. And then it also gives you the information in context so you can understand how to apply it to your personal situation. Now, there's lots of free information that's out there that you can use, and you can start with that free information. But once you are kind of like, okay, I know the basics, I want to grow, I want to get to the next level. In my opinion, I think it's worth paying for it as long as number one, it's someone that you can relate to and trust. And then also number two, the the value that that paid option delivers, the promise of that coaching program is what you need. If those two things are met, it's worth the investment because it's going to help you break loose or break the mold or break the stuff where you are so you can get to that next level. And when it comes to personal finance coaching or teaching you how to invest, your return on investment is going to be worth the cost of whatever the coaching program is. But like I said, use all the free tools first. Exhaust all the free tools first. The free tool that I have to offer you is that new investor starter kit that I posted in the chat, and I will post it in the chat again. But exhaust all your free tools first. This is my new investor starter kit. That's where you can find it. So let me see what you guys are saying in the comments about reason number 3. Yes, that's one of the. Okay, joined late. Hey, KG around the world. You joined late, went back to the start. That's okay. I appreciate you being here. I think it's because we think it costs a lot of money to invest. Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's because we think it costs a lot of money to invest. There shouldn't be, well, I take that back. Investing is not expensive. If you are investing and not trading, remember, investing and trading are two different things, but investing shouldn't cost you anything. So, for example, by opening an account with Fidelity, that brokerage account or that Roth IRA or any account that you open with Fidelity, most basic accounts, they have no fees to them. Now, when you invest in index funds, which is what I would suggest for a beginner, when you invest in index funds, there is a fee, but it's embedded in the fund. It's called an expense ratio. However, that's another reason why I like Fidelity, because Fidelity has index funds that have a 0% expense ratio. So there's no fee associated with the index fund. And I believe the funds that they have that do have a fee is still very low fees, like a 0.01% or 0.02%. It's a very, very small fee. But Fidelity's total stock market index fund that is zero fee. Hold on, I'm going to tell you in a minute. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Let me do a quick search. I'm looking for Fidelity's index fund that tracks the total stock market, and it has 0 expense ratio. The fund ticker symbol is FZROX. FZROX. I'm going to put it in the comments and I'll pin this. FZROX. Now, that is Fidelity's index fund that tracks the total stock market. There is no fee to open an account with Fidelity. There is no fee to invest in this index fund. The expense ratio is 0. Okay? I hope that helps. Hope that helps. Let's see. Diane says, you learn how to invest on YouTube. I know that's right. I know that's right. I believe in YouTube University. In fact, when I learn how to trade. Now, when I say investing and trading are two different things, and I do not recommend investing for people who are new to the stock market. That doesn't mean I'm against investing. I mean, against trading. I am a trader. I've been trading for well over 10 years. But when I first learned how to trade, I was exposed to it on YouTube. And I followed the coach that I eventually hired. I followed him for probably a good 2 years, just watching his video. And I liked his vibe. And I learned so much from him. I'm like, well, shoot, I know I'm going to learn more if I pay him. And I most certainly did. I most certainly did. But yes, I learned on YouTube. I learned how to trade on YouTube, not invest on YouTube. I think I learned how to invest. I read a lot of books. And I used to have a personal finance blog years and years ago. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if any of my day ones are in the comments, but I used to invest. I used to blog a long, long time ago, and I used to write about personal finance. So I've been in the personal finance circle and in the personal finance space for a long, long time. But that's how I learned how to invest a long time ago. Yeah. My favorite book on investing is The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. I am not affiliated with him in any way. I get no kickback for sharing that. This is my honest opinion and God the honest truth. My absolute favorite book on investing. And I share this with all of my clients. Every client I coach, I recommend this book to them. But it's called it's either A Simple Path or The Simple Path. But Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. I absolutely love that book. It teaches you how to build wealth in a very simple way. Investing does not have to be complicated. It's not. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. So I think this is in response to my group coaching program when I asked you guys if you would be interested. Okay. All right. Eleanor. All right. Denise. Cool beans. Okay. I may consider kicking that off in Q4 instead of waiting until next year. Let's see. Tia D, the structure and order you're describing is what I've been looking for. I invest, but I like a template that makes sense to me. Okay. We most certainly talk about the order of operations in my coaching program, the 8-week group coaching program. It's called Invest with Ease. I will share more about that in another video. Oh, I'm glad that was helpful, Tia D. I'm glad that was helpful. Look, this is one of my days. Yes. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not. But no, I used to vlog back in the day. I was in these finance streets, heavy, y'all, heavy. Yes, that was me. Fabulous financials. Y'all been rocking with me for a long time. I love it. Yes. Yes. this. Can you transfer money from your checking account into your Fidelity account? Yeah, absolutely. You most certainly can. Elle said, I knew it. I knew it. Yes, that is me. I'm so happy you're here. So happy you're here. So, for someone that read my blog years ago and continue to follow me now, y'all know how I operate. I'm still the same old Malika. I ain't changed not one bit. I keep it real. I'm just a girl from around the way. They got a little money. Got a little money now. That's all. My favorite blog. I followed you on Twitter too. Most certainly a day one. My heart is smiling right now. Oh, I cried when you don't make me cry, Elle. I'm here now, sis. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm even better because I'm free. You remember me when I still had debt. You remember me when I was buying my first house, when I bought my first car. I used to vlog about all of it. I used to vlog about all the things when I was new to investing, paying off debt. I've always been transparent, you guys. I am still the same Malika, and all these people. They're proof right here. Okay, I got my first spammer. Got my first spammer. Let's get him out of here. Well, that was easy. I feel like I made it, y'all. I got a spammer. Elle, you have warmed my heart tonight. I don't want to hold y'all too long. So let me get to reason number 3. There were 3 reasons that the SEC shared. You're gonna have me crying. You're gonna have my cheeks. You're gonna have my cheeks hurting. But the third reason that the SEC cited for why Black women don't invest is an aversion to risk. An aversion to risk. And I think some of the comments you guys have made tonight kind of alluded to this. The SEC says that Black women are afraid of risk, and we would rather put money in CDs and savings accounts than to generate wealth by putting it in the stock market. Is that true? Are you guys afraid of taking risk? Don't want to lose money. You work so hard for it. But here's the thing. This is an analogy that I share with my coaching clients. If you're afraid of taking risk and you hold on so tight to the money you currently have, when you look at my fists, what's flowing in? You have a little bit of money and you holding on to it so tight because you don't want to lose it. But can anything flow in? When you hold your fist so tight to hold on to what you currently have, you're also blocking what you could have because nothing can flow in either. You have to loosen up a little bit. And one of the ways you can loosen up is by educating yourself. You have to loosen your grip just a little bit. I'm not saying go all out, balls to the wall. I'm not saying go drop your life savings in Bitcoin. That's ridiculous. I'm not even saying go invest in Tesla because Tesla is volatile. Tesla might keep you up at night. But what I am saying is loosen your grip just a little bit by investing in an index fund. If you have an aversion to risk, one of the easiest ways to invest is in an index fund that is a basket of stock that's diversified. And what that means, I'm sure you've heard that term before, and you're probably like, what the heck is diversified? I mean, people always talk about diversification. What that means is there are multiple stock in this basket. Let me use the example of fruit. Okay. You know how you go to the grocery store and you can buy like a bag of, you can buy like one apple. And then you know how you can buy a bag of maybe 10 red apples? But then you can buy a bag of mixed fruit that has the apples, the oranges, the pears. You know what I mean? So an index fund is like buying that mixed bag of fruit. So it has a little bit of everything in there. And the reason why you want to start out with an index fund that's diversified is so that if one of those pieces of fruit go bad, what do you think I'm going to say? If you have a basket of fruit and one of those pieces of fruit go bad, you have access to all the other fruit that's in that basket, right? Right? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? But if you try to stock pick, if you try to buy stock in a company and you try to pick the perfect company, or you try to jump on the bandwagon of whatever is trending today, and you buy that one stock, Tesla, for example. Someone said something about that. Tesla be playing people emotions. I know that's right. I know that's right. Now I rocks with Tesla. Tesla's one of the reasons why I'm retired now. But I wouldn't recommend Tesla to a new person. Absolutely not. Because I've also lost a lot of money trading Tesla. Let's be real. I've lost money in the stock market trading. Yes. That's another video for another day. But my point is, if you buy one stock, you're increasing your risk because that's just like buying one apple. If you buy that one apple and you put it in the fridge or you put it on the counter and that one apple go bad, you have any other fruit? If you're hungry and you want a snack, do you have access to any other fruit if that one apple rots? No, right? But if you buy that basket of fruit with the apples, the oranges, the pears, the whatever else is in that basket of fruit, if that same apple goes bad, you got other fruit. So that's essentially what an index fund does for your portfolio. It gives you a basket of fruit and you're diversified so that if one goes bad, you got the others that are still good. So that's how you're able to manage risk because you're not putting everything in one company. You're not betting your whole life savings on one company to perform well. You're just buying a whole bunch of companies by buying an index fund. So that's one of the ways that you can manage risk if you have an aversion to risk. You still have the other fruits in the basket and lose nothing. All right. I wouldn't necessarily say lose nothing, but you minimize your losses. You significantly reduce your risk and minimize your losses. Right? Education is knowledge and wisdom. Yes. We have to educate ourselves. Oh, let's see what Diane is saying here. What convinced me to take risk is understanding how to mitigate it. Yes. I also learned that it's the only way to make money as I'm sleeping over time and become wealthy without needing to work one day. Sis gets it. Sis gets it. Yes, Absolutely. And here's the thing about educating yourself. Even if I lose it all, nobody can take what I have up here. I'm not afraid of losing it all because I know how to mitigate my risks to maintain what I have. But let's say by a weird chance, some black swan event, because that happens, like COVID, when the market crashed during COVID, that was considered a black swan event. The market crash in 1929, that was caused by a black swan event. So those unusual, unexpected, once in a lifetime type events, if that were to happen and I were to lose it all, I'm not afraid of that because I can build it back. And I'm confident enough to say that because of what I know, not what I have. Does that make sense? When people say, I think that the popular phrase is knowledge is power. I'll take that a step further. I think applied knowledge is power because you have to apply what you know in order to build that muscle and in order to build your confidence and know what you're doing. You get confident by doing. And I've done it so much over and over and gotten the same results over and over. I know how to do it again and again and again. The stock market is not going anywhere. It's been around forever and a day. There's so many wealthy people in the United States that have the vast majority of their wealth in the stock market. Stock market ain't going nowhere. So if I were to lose it all, I'm confident enough in my knowledge and in my expertise to know I can build it again. So we can mitigate that risk. We can mitigate that lack of knowledge. We can mitigate the fear. We can address all of that by educating ourselves. We can address all of that by educating ourselves. All right. So let's see what the article said in a wrap up. So those 3 reasons they say we don't invest, again, is the lack of money, and that's really assuming you need a lot of money to invest. Number 2, the lack of knowledge, and number 3, the aversion to risk. But we've talked about the solution to all of those tonight. And the bottom line is to educate yourself. I think another important thing is representation. Because of our lived experiences and our history in the United States associated with Black wealth, we have an aversion and a mistrust, like someone pointed out. So I think representation matters, being able to see other Black people building wealth, being able to learn from other Black people that are teaching you how, being able to learn from someone you trust to teach you how. When I see someone that looks like me doing something that I aspire to do, what that tells me is that it's possible. I know a lot of people, or I won't say a lot of people, some people say, oh, when I see such and such, they bragging or they think they're better or they're this or they're that. If I see another Black person, especially another Black woman that has something, it doesn't necessarily have to be material things. It could be a lifestyle. It could be the joy that she exudes. If I see another Black woman that has something that I dream about for myself, I don't think anything negative about her. What that shows me is it's possible. And that's all I need. Once I see someone look like me doing it, baby, it's possible. And I'm about to do it too. So when I come on here and I say, I retired in my 40s. I'm financially independent. I'm a 7-figure investor. Don't forget that I also was a single mom on welfare for 10 years. So tell me why you are not investing. Tell me why. After tonight, if you are not investing, after tonight, will you start investing? Let me know. On my channel, I give you access to the information. I provide the education. I've given you gems tonight that you can start applying right now. And I'm building a community for us so that you have the representation to see someone who looks like you, to learn from someone who looks like you. Because I want you guys to be able to realize your goals and experience the freedom that you desire, or whatever it is that your goal is. I want you guys to experience that too, because it's possible. But you have to start. You have to start. Okay? I won't hold you anymore tonight. We've been on for about an hour and a half. Let me check these comments one more time to make sure I've responded to everyone. Oh, Diane, when I saw you, I felt like I can become wealthy one day too. You most certainly can. You most certainly can. Denise says, yes, she understands perfectly. And Melissa, hey, Melissa, I don't think I said hello to you tonight. I started last year, but having a hard time convincing my sisters to do so as well. I will recommend they watch your videos. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. But if they are not ready, you can't worry about them. You do it, and then you be the representation that they need to see. So do it. Share what you know if they're willing to listen. Share the resources. Like you said, you're going to share my videos, but you can't make them take action. But you be the representation for them. Okay? All right. Yes, I think I covered everything and answered all the comments. This was so fun. Thank you guys for joining me. If this was helpful to you in any way, whether you're live or watching the replay, give me a thumbs up, smash that like button so the algorithm will know that we're doing some things over here. And as Melissa said, please share my videos with your family, with your friends, with any Black woman that you know who want to invest, have a desire for financial freedom. Share my videos. When you share, when you like, when you comment, when you engage, it lets YouTube know that this is a video that more people should see, and they'll push it out so that more people who are looking for me can find me. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, please keep learning. If you're already investing, keep investing. And until the next video, bye for now. Have a great night.